Hey, what's up guys, Joseph here, and today this is the top 100 movies of all time in my opinion. Now, before I get started with the list, I have a couple of things I need to talk about. First things first, and I cannot stress this enough. I did not rank these movies solely based on the overall quality. That is a part of it. I rank these movies based on the overall quality. Here I said I didn't base it solely on the overall quality. I took that into consideration. I based my rankings on the overall quality of the movie. Most of all, my enjoyment of the movie. That being said, this list is going to have some controversy and one main unpopular opinion that is going to be in tomorrow's video. But this one's going to be the number 100 through 91. Tomorrow is going to be 90 through 81, and the next day 80 through 71, and so on and so on and so on until we get to the top 10. Second thing I want to talk about is the spoilers. I don't want to really spoil anything. Like, you guys got to understand, I am trying not to spoil because I know most of you haven't seen the majority of these movies I have on my list. I'm trying to phrase it where people who have seen it know why I like the movie so much, but at the same time word it in a way where it doesn't really spoil anything. And that is very tough to do without repeating myself every single time with like great performances all around the board, blah 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 blah, like that. Like that's like boring. It's boring. And then that brings me to my honorable mentions. Usually I try to limit myself to 3. I couldn't do this to 3. And I tried to do it to 5. I couldn't do it to 5 either. So I have 12 honorable mentions. I'm not really going to talk about them in depth, but I'll just rattle them off and you guys check them out if you're interested. Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, The Big Lebowski, American Psycho, The Hateful Eight, Zero Dark 30, Howl's Moving Castle, The Conjuring, The Exorcist, Catch Me If You Can, Young Frankenstein, and Warrior. This is how I would rank top 100 movies of all time in my opinion.
Number 100.
The only silent movie on this list, and that's Nosferatu. If you think you haven't heard of Nosferatu, you probably have. If you watch SpongeBob, there was an episode. It's like the hash slinging slasher. I think it's been a long time since I've seen SpongeBob. I stopped watching SpongeBob after that 2005 movie because that's when it really went downhill. There was an episode like the hash slinging slasher or something like that, and at the very end there's a guy flicking off the lights. He's bald, pointy ears. That's Nosferatu. He's a vampire who has a guy coming to his house to try and sell him a new house. But if you haven't seen Nosferatu, and coming from somebody who wasn't really expecting much because it was a silent movie, I actually enjoyed it a lot more than what I was expecting. And it's getting remade by the writers of The Witch. And The Witch is one of my favorite horror movies come out in the last 10 years. Very excited to see his version of it, but if you haven't seen Nosferatu, the original, I highly recommend it.
Number 99.
Number 99 is Aladdin. As a kid, Robin Williams made this movie for me. Like, I didn't really care a lot like about the movie itself until I got older. As a kid, Robin Williams is still the best voiceover in animated movies, Disney animated movies. Because once I said that he was the best in animated movies, period, I just thought like of Mark Hamill as the Joker and all these others. Robin Williams is one of, if not the best voiceover performer in animation. I'll say that. Watching the movie as an adult, it's my third favorite Disney movie. Aladdin, great hero, great villain in Jafar. Jasmine being one of the few Disney princesses to actually take charge of her life. Great music, Friend Like Me, Prince Ali, Whole New World, Arabian Nights.
Number 98.
The Nice Guys as a comedy just barely got by beating Deadpool as my favorite comedy from last year. The Nice Guys is one of the most underrated movies to come out last year. The chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, perfect. Usually when there's a kid in a movie, they're like annoying, go away, but the girl in this movie was pretty good. She had quite a bit of laughs. Nice Guys, if you haven't already seen it, I highly recommend it. It's one of the most underrated movies to come out last year.
Number 97.
My number 97 is Monsters, Inc. Fourth favorite Pixar movie. Billy Crystal, John Goodman, Steve Buscemi. Perfect voices for Mike, Sully, and Randall. The story is essentially two monsters befriend a little girl. One of Pixar's best. Personally, it's my fourth favorite. But if you haven't seen Monsters, Inc., check it out.
Number 96.
My number 96 is Boyhood, and I'll just keep it at this. And that's because Boyhood, to me, is the most relatable coming-of-age movie.
Number 95.
Is Zodiac. Now, Zodiac, as you can tell by the title of the movie, is about the Zodiac Killer. It's a tremendous drama about the Zodiac Killer. I'm not going to say it's the best because I don't like it. It's really the only Zodiac Killer movie that I've ever seen. Great performances by Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr. Definitely check it out.
Number 94.
Number 94 is Finding Nemo. Now, if you haven't, I'm pretty sure everybody like Monsters, Inc. has seen Finding Nemo. But if you haven't, the story is basically, and I'm not really spoiling anything because it's in the title. The story is essentially a son gets taken away from his dad, and the dad has to find him. Hence the name Finding Nemo. His son's name is Nemo. And along the way, he meets a whole variety of characters. Ellen DeGeneres somehow made Dory a lovable character. What would have been an annoying character, she made Dory somehow, some way she made Dory lovable. If anybody else would have voiced her, I honestly don't think Dory would be as loved as she is. So Ellen DeGeneres, great performance, great voiceover performance.
Number 93
is The Social Network. It's a story of the creation of Facebook. Jesse Eisenberg, probably his best performance. Justin Timberlake and Andrew Garfield, great performances as well. Mark Zuckerberg, the real life guy who Jesse Eisenberg played, he said the movie was good, but the story itself was not how it actually happened. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if Mark Zuckerberg is lying. I don't know. I don't care if the movie is 100% accurate to reality, how it actually went down. I don't care. It's a great movie. Like, there are so many movies that are based on real events or real people that is not historically accurate. I'll get into one movie that I love later in whatever day that video comes out. It's going to be somewhere in the top 100 movies. I'll tell you that right now. When I get to it, I'll reference back to The Social Network. I'll do that. If a movie was historically accurate, most times it'd be boring. It's a movie. It's not a freaking documentary. It's not history class. It's a movie. It's Hollywood. Okay? I don't care about how it actually happened. If I want to learn how it actually happened, I'll read some articles online or whatever.
Number 92.
Number 92 is Prisoners. Now this one is very hard to explain without spoiling the movie. Great performances by Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Maria Bello, Terrence Howard, and Paul Dano. This movie is not for everybody. I will go ahead and say that right now. This movie is not for everybody, especially new parents. Like if you had like a newborn child or whatever, do not ever watch this movie. I would say wait until I was gonna say wait until your kids go off to like college or something. I honestly don't know if you should even watch it then. But Prisoners, watching it for the first time and not really knowing anything going in, because I watched it blind. I didn't know who was in it or what the story was. Watching it blind, like it's been a while since I've seen Prisoners, but I like it's still stuck with me. I don't think it'll leave me ever. Like I said, Prisoners, I recommend if you're not easily disturbed and if you're not a parent or planning to be a parent in the near future, because you are gonna have second thoughts.
Number 91.
Number 91 is Whiplash. Now, this movie, I heard nothing but good things about this movie going into it, and I guess my expectations were too high because I liked it, but I didn't love it as much as everybody else does. And maybe I'll watch it again because I've already seen it twice. I liked it a little bit more the second time. I still don't get the amount of love it gets, but J.K. Simmons by far is my favorite part about the entire movie. Like, the only movies that I've seen of his beforehand was Spider-Man and Juno. Those were really the only things that I've seen of J.K. Simmons that I know it was him. Like, if he did some like voiceover work or something that I didn't know it was him, that's possible. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's like to me right now, to me, Whiplash is just overrated. Not that overrated is bad or anything like that. Opinions can change. Maybe one day I'll watch it and I'll say that I was wrong and I was stupid to think Whiplash is overrated and all that. It's happened before. Quite a bit of times. Because I'll go ahead and say it because it's going to be on here. Shawshank Redemption. I didn't really care for it the first time I watched it. Like, I liked it, but it just didn't live up to that, like, expectations. Because on, like, IMDb, it was, like, #1 above some other movies that I love more. And I've come along to liking it the more I watch it. But movies are like that. Appreciate movies that you hated a long time ago, or you hate movies that you love about a year ago. Because Suicide Squad, I actually liked Suicide Squad somehow the first time I watched it in the theater. Maybe it was because of the theater experience and the movie-going experience, whatever you want to call it. And the movie-going experience can make or break a movie. I had actually a good experience in the movie theater watching it. Maybe that, I don't know what I was thinking, because I rewatched it on HBO not long ago. It's unwatchable from pretty much start to finish. Suicide, opinions can change. So I'm not saying Whiplash is gonna stay at the bottom of my list forever. Who knows? Maybe in 5 years or whatever, I'll look back on this video and think Whiplash deserved to be a lot higher. Alright, that's it for this video. Be sure to check back tomorrow with numbers 90 through 81. Let me know what you think of my list so far in the comments below. Do you think Whiplash should be higher? Be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Share on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you share cool stuff. As always, like me on Facebook at JMash27. Follow me on Twitter, JMash27. Links in the description below. Mash out!